Okay, now I feel like a bit of a jerk. I just said in my intro that I would try to stay away from new releases and Blu-ray reviews. But here I am in the first official review for this channel. Hot damn though, I just watched this flick and I can't not review it. Blu-ray or not.
俺の名前は鈴木秀夫、35歳漫画家アシスタント。彼女とは破局寸前。そんな最低な毎日がある日突然終わりを告げる。え？何が起きているんですか？都内で
は火災や事故が相次いで発生していますが、
誰？
私もどうしてください。
新型ウイルス特別対策。
ウイルスで人格崩壊。
早急。
標高の高いところは感染しない。
富士山に登れ。
もしもあんたがこの子と一緒に逃げるっていうならここを出よう。
生き残りたければ奴らを倒せ。
来た。
ふざけんな。
このヤバい世界でこの男は本当のヒーローになれるのか。
てめえで助けろ。自分が助けろ。ヒーロー。
俺が君を守る。アイアムアヒーロー。絶叫のゾキュンパニック。一人では危険です。
That's right, folks. I'm talking about the Japanese zombie movie I Am a Hero that just came out in theaters last fall. At least it did overseas. The Korean release I picked up has trailers talking about a September 2016, almost a year ago release, and the trailer you just watched has an October 2016 date listed. I guess it wrapped in 2015 and made some festival appearances stateside. South by Southwest premiere May 2016, but your guess is as good as mine why it hasn't been picked up for broader domestic distribution. After watching Train to Busan last year in theaters, in Singapore, this would have made it an amazing double feature. I haven't read the manga this movie was adapted from, but after this I'm willing to check it out, and I'm pretty particular when it comes to manga. Generally a lot harder for me to get into than traditional Western or European comics. Basically, the concept for this movie in short is that a nerdy Joe Schmo manga artist, in a really dead-end position, he can't even make his half of the rent for the apartment he shares with his girlfriend, winds up the unlikely survivor of an urban zombie outbreak in Tokyo. His financial situation is explained pretty clearly by the fact that he actually owns a real, skeet-shooting over-under shotgun, official license and all, which he doesn't hesitate to whip out, and apparently has spent enough time on the range to be a pretty good shot. On the way out of town, he inadvertently links up with a schoolgirl and makes it his mission to keep her alive, even if he has to die trying. They head out of the city towards Mount Fuji initially, before winding up at a shopping center with a number of other survivors. And then things really go downhill. This movie does stick with a lot of traditional zombie tropes. They take a licking and keep on ticking, at least until you take out the brainstem good and clean. In a throwback to Romero's classics and more recent flicks like Shaun of the Dead, most of these zombies retain a semi-consciousness of their previous life experiences. Athletics, shopping, salaryman, riding the train, etc., and many of these actually speak words and phrases that align with that life. That said, these zombies also have some great movement tics and motions, more along the lines with the twitches familiar in J-horror than any stateside shamblers. They're not sprinters like we saw in Train to Busan, but there's plenty of surprises here. This is also one of the first movies I can recall in the last few years that shows the zombie infection slowly taking hold of a living person and turning them, even mid-action, while they're still alive. Puts me in mind a little bit of John Ringo's Black Tide Rising series of books. Quite noticeable physically with a distinct focus on the eyes. Which brings me to the effects. You can't have a good zombie flick without effects, and hot damn they did a first-rate job with this. A lot of CGI-assisted work, but a ton of practical gore as well, evident from the featurettes. And I don't think I've seen this many headshots in any other flick. Considering the only actual firearm in the movie is a shotgun, let's just say these aren't your typical Walking Dead pinpricks. I can honestly say as well I would not have expected a film of this caliber from Shinsuke Sato. I watched both Gantz films via Netflix as well as Library Wars, and this is head and shoulders above them in terms of overall structure and quality. It may be a function of a more contained story or a smaller cast setting in some ways, but this is really a step up for him. All the leads do a great job for their respective characters, most importantly Yo Oizumi really puts out a great performance as a loser finally given a chance to excel, who just needs to break out of the shell he's built for himself. Big points here for some great narrative tricks used in the film. Sparingly too, but well enough to find at the beginning of the movie so that they fit in perfectly when they matter most. I reviewed this movie from the Korean Blu-ray Limited Special Edition, numbered, A-type, region A coding so it will play in any US Blu-ray player. As far as I can tell, the only difference between the two current Korean releases, A-type and B-type, is the packaging. They both come as 2-disc editions with the movie subtitled in English on one disc, flawless presentation, no notable subtitle typos that caught my eye, and a second disc with trailers and a making of documentary, Japanese with only Korean subs. That said, it's still interesting for a watch just to see how they pulled off some of the stunts and effects. The special edition also includes a booklet, poster, and some photo cards. It's a tad pricey, but you're welcome to try your luck with the Hong Kong Blu-ray or DVD. As usual, all the Japanese releases are far more expensive and don't list English subtitles. I've had generally good experiences with other Hong Kong Blu-rays so far, and I don't have the equipment to get a real bitrate test. I am not aware of any Western releases out or scheduled for release at this time, especially with subs, but feel free to post links below if you've come across any information. Specifically, if you've heard anything about the status of this film for a US theatrical release, please let us know. Bottom line, I highly recommend this movie, especially for zombie aficionados. It's a fun, surprisingly gory adventure that is a cut above the average Japanese mainstream release, manga adaptation or otherwise. It's also interesting to see another zombie film from a country somewhat lacking in firearms culture and with no military elements at all. If this review is the kind of thing you're interested in checking out in the future, please subscribe to the channel for regular weekly updates. Lieutenant Fish, out.